need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And when anybody's running short, it's going to stay towards the top of the caldera if we're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griffin.
Sounds good. Well, that's the thing. We got to get to brawling range, so I may be moving us, right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill out, man, it's fine, it's just a 5-star.
Komm Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Don't die.
Guys,
15 seconds, don't die.
Guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow. Okay, go get Charlie, see if we can get it.
There. To your left, there's a. Sorry, Richard.
So, jetzt guys, hinter die Indie-Pocken.
Medium speed, prepare to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side, come on! Like now, I need strikes on OP barrel. Wire our strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over.
Overheating is bad.
Both legs on the Griffin. Get the Griffin.
Woo! Oh yeah. Sorry about that. That was such a
That's right. I'm gonna spawn Lance, you guys in Charlie. Lance, you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Jetzt in die Breite, zieht in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Ja, kurz Aufschaltung Delta 4, 3 Stück, 2 Mediums, ein Light, wie ich es richtig gesehen habe.
Make a firing line.
C4 Tactical Hill, boys.
Fox.
Laufen unter ECM, hab 2 durchlaufen, 10, Bravo 4.
And get ready to hit people coming from our right.
Charlie on the left, Charlie, Hellbringer on the left.
Okay, let's group up towards the left. We're gonna press through Bravo 3 to Bravo 4. I think they're kind of spread out. Check yourselves, make sure you've got, UAV cool shot. Here they come, they're pushing hard, guys.
Decro. Tez on.
Go. Oh, got a contact here, Bravo 3.
Nice, Marshall. I'm on Delta Griffin.
We'll get cross it then, get in their face. They got a highlighter, they just push up on Theta. We need help on Theta. Up on Theta. Yep, that's the noise. Go. Let's finish this. Full pressure, guys. Full pressure. They're down low. They're down low in Charlie 3. Get the f***ing arm, Jackson.
Jackson, cool shot.
Golf. I got him.
Okay, go, B3, go.
Echo, go.
Get over on your medium, guys. Get Echo Stormcrow. God, I suck as a pilot, but thank I packed my skill. I'm sorry that you died, sweet girls, but we will send a reasonably nice letter to your family. To the paper doll. Make sure you guys are shooting the correct legs. Be careful of the collisions. I don't want to hear complaints about it. Work around it. Let's play this game.
I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And when anybody's running short, it's going to stay towards the top of the caldera if we're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griffin.
Sounds good. Well, that's the thing. We got to get to brawling range, so I may be moving us, right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill out, man, it's fine, it's just a 5-star.
Komm Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't die. 15 seconds, don't die.
Guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow.
Okay, go to Charlie, see if we can get a dire.
To your left, there's a... So, jetzt guys, hinter die Indie-Pocken,
Mediums be prepared to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side, come on! Like now, I need strikes on the barrel. Wire are strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over.
Overheating is bad.
Both legs on the Griffin. Get the Griffin.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. That was such a
That's all right. I'm gonna spawn Lance, you guys in Charlie. Lance, you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Leute in die Breite, zieht euch in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Ja, kurz Aufschaltung Delta 4, 3 Stück, 2 Mediums, ein Leitweg, so ich die gesehen habe.
Make a firing line.
C4 Tactical Hill, boys.
Fox.
Laufen unter ECM, hab 2 durchlaufen, 10 Bravo 4.
And get ready to hit people coming from our right.
Charlie on the left, Charlie, a Hellbringer on the left.
Okay, let's group up towards the left. We're gonna press through Bravo 3 to Bravo 4. I think they're kind of spread out. Check yourselves, make sure you've got, UAV cool shot. Here they come, they're pushing hard, guys.
Deco. Tez on.
Go. Oh, got a contact here, Bravo 3.
Nice, Marshall. I'm on Delta Griffin.
Well, you cross it then, get in their face. They got a highlighter, they just pushed up on Theta. We need help on Theta. Up on Theta. Yep, that's the noise. Go. Let's finish this. Full pressure, guys. Full pressure. They're down low. They're down low in Charlie 3. Get the f***ing arm, Jackson.
Jackson, cool shot.
Golf. I got him.
Okay, go, P3, go.
Echo, go. Get over on your medium, guys. Get Echo Stormcrow. God, I suck as a pilot, but thank I packed my skill. I'm sorry that you died, sweet girls, but we will send a reasonably nice letter to your family. Attention to the paper doll. Make sure you guys are shooting the correct legs. Be careful of the collisions. I don't want to hear complaints about it. Work around it. Let's play this game.
I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And when anybody's running short, is going to stay towards the top of the call there if we're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griff.
Sounds good.
Well, that's the thing. We got to get to brawling range, so I may be moving us right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill the out, man, it's fine, it's just a 5-starter.
Komm, Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't die.
Guys,
15 seconds, don't die.
guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow. Okay, go to Charlie, see if we can get a dire.
To your left, there's a... So, jetzt guys, hinter die Indie-Pocken.
Mediums be prepared to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side, come on! Like now, I need strikes on the barrel. Wire are strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over.
Overheating is bad.
Both legs on the Griffin. Get the Griffin.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. That was such a
That's all right. I'm gonna spawn Lance, you guys in Charlie. Lance, you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Welcome to the Mercstar Charity Invitational 12v12 match between SJR and 228 Blackwatch. Needless to say, we've got a very interesting night for you guys. Not only are we going to get to kind of watch a very intense match between two extremely good teams, but we get to watch, I guess, a reportable bug, and we'll see how this goes. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Basically, about 15 minutes before the stream began, I discovered a bug. I had seen it on Tuesday when I was streaming the 4v4 matches that my team was playing for our practice on the new maps. We were exploring the new maps. And unfortunately, I made the mistake of assuming that it was the new maps that was causing the problem. But it turns out that something has happened since patch, and I will not be in control for very long. I will not be in control of my camera. Basically, as soon as somebody dies and goes into spectator mode, it is going to start forcing my camera into cockpits, and as MD calls it, the People's Choice Shoutcast, because whoever is dead will be in control of my camera. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know how this is going to go. It could very well be, depending on whether it's only the first person who dies that's controlling it, because then it might be interesting, because maybe they're better at finding the action because they're in the comms. They might find the action better than me. Or if it's every single person who's dead and it's just rapidly, it's going to suck. It's going to be bad. I'm hoping that it's just one person, so this might be interesting. At the very least, we'll still be able to at least see generally what's happening, not from a broad perspective, but at the very least from a cockpit. And I know a lot of you guys have been asking for more in-cockpit views, so you're getting your wish tonight. But at least we're going to see the scoreboard at the end, assuming MWO doesn't crash, but at the very least MD over here will be streaming as well. So I can pick up his replays and he can read off the scoreboards and stuff. So interesting. Welcome to Thursday.
We have added the mini game within the game.
Yep, it's not going to take long.
Not only now do you get to play in some top-notch competitive action, but once you die, the game is no longer over. You can control what all of these viewers on Twitch will be seeing. It'll be great.
It's the new mini game. The new mini game. So yeah, you know, my commentary may be affected by it. We'll be probably calling it more from an in-cockpit perspective once the kills start happening. As soon as that first mech goes down, I literally have until that person clicks the enter spectator mode button, then the games are going to begin. So I will do my best to call initial movements as normal, and then once people start falling, I will do my best. Hold on to your butts, because I might try to fight it at first, bringing myself back out of the cockpit and trying to draw out to overview again. But if it starts getting really bad, I'm gonna just kind of ride it and let them control. It's not gonna take them long to figure out what's going on and start essentially. I don't think anybody's going to exploit it to fuck with me or anything like that. I believe that their priority is going to be on winning the match. So they're going to be clicking through to find the best perspective to offer additional information. Or at least follow along and have something to take into the next drop. So I don't think anybody's going to mess with me on this. But you know, we'll see. I'm just gonna hope that things go a little bit smoother than I guess I anticipate them going. So now you guys are in the know, and I'm sure we're gonna get a lot more viewers as the stream goes on. So I guess if you see somebody saying, "Why the hell is he switching so goddamn much?" feel free to just be like, "There's a bug. There's a bug in the Sense patch that is making spectator mode a roller coaster." So.
Well, we'll have to see how it goes, but I think it'll be entertaining. I am looking forward to the People's Choice, and by People's, I basically just mean SJR and 228. But, what other people matters? People's matters, something.
It's so
Whatever.
meta, man. It's a community stream inside a community control. It's
Okay,
community.
here in chat, I have to diverge. Terragado's asking me how my day was. I have to tell everyone now how my day was. Woke up this morning, went to take the dog out. It's like still kind of dark out, so I'm like walking around, not really paying attention. Walking past this tree, there's this low-hanging branch. Freaking almost pokes my eye out. So if you look real closely, like under my eye, there is this nice red spot.
Brilliant.
Because I stabbed myself in the eye with the branch this morning, like first thing in the morning after I woke up.
Fantastic.
So that's how my day is going, Terragado. But thanks for asking. I appreciate that.
And you just came off of being sick too. That's why you. Well, that's not why you weren't here last week, but yeah. No, you came back from that sick, didn't you? You went to a convention or something?
I
and
got
you came back sick
the day of the convention, basically. I woke up with a cold the day of the convention.
Nice.
It was great.
Good stuff.
So I'm seeing us start to pick up here. It looks like the teams are almost full up in the lobby, so hopefully we'll get started fairly shortly. We're waiting on, looks like 2 more players, 1 from each team, and then another one leaves. So I guess I should keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, man. What are you talking about?
It's tough, yeah. How is everyone doing tonight in chat? Everyone hanging in there?
Yeah, that's hopefully everybody's been enjoying, I guess, exploring the new patch and stuff like that. As you no doubt saw, we had a major buff to flamers, and we actually saw a lot of flamer usage in competitive scrimmages and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
But then also about 1 hour before the cast here, they hotfixed it and they made it a little worse again. Mainly just to prevent people from what I saw some people doing is they would set a macro to just sit there and feather automatically, and they wouldn't even pull the trigger on that weapon group. They would just let it happen automatically, and so I do think that's a little broken. And I don't have any problems with people using macros, but the fact that they were able to manipulate it and maintain like the full heat on the enemy and stuff like that, I don't think it was a bad choice for them to do what they did. They might have done it a little much, but we'll see. Essentially, just long story short, with the fire of flamers, if you're already familiar with them, anyways, they made it so instead of the timer counts up, and then every time you let go of the flamer, the timer counts back down again, backwards. So what they did now is it counts up, and then if you let it go, it's going to stay there for 4.75 seconds, and if nothing happens in the 4.75 seconds, then it'll count down again. But if you pull the trigger again, it resets the 4.75 second counter, and the heat goes up a little bit higher.
Move this up. There we go.
And then
It's like cut off on the corner. I didn't want to miss out on that.
So, yeah, that's gonna make it a lot harder. Essentially, you have to, you can do a burn on a flamer, but then you're gonna have to leave it alone for 4.75 seconds after the burn ends. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what this does, because some inside information, I know that SJR at the very least was experimenting with flamers on competitive decks,
and they kicked my ass.
and they kicked Bandit's ass.
Mine specifically, right? In my Blackjack
Specifically.
1X, I
Specifically
couldn't fire a
Bandit.
goddamn shot.
So yeah, I'm curious to see how this patch, has adjusted that, and whether these 2 teams will still bring flamers based off like the 2 days where they were outrageously good and useful, or will they, how's this going to play out? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if people are going to just be like, well, fuck that, and start unequipping it, because 4.75 seconds, it feels like a lot, especially when you're talking about a cooldown on a weapon like Goss. At the same
But the
token,
ability
that's
to
not that
heat
bad.
someone up, yeah, I think the ability to heat someone up, even if you have to stop after 4.75 seconds, just the ability to ramp them up real quickly, get that extra shot in, sort of thing, I think it could be useful.
Yeah, I mean, essentially 5 seconds could be the time it takes to acquire a new target. I mean, that's kind of a slow acquisition of a new target, but if you have it in the back of your head that you just got to give it a little bit of time, and even if you make a mistake, it shouldn't affect your heat that badly, and then maybe that's where the cool shot will come in really well. But yeah,
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Flamers, full disclosure. I don't particularly like, at least I don't like how they implemented them before this hotfix. I've yet to see them after the hotfix. So we'll see what happens. But I am really, really curious to see what these two teams do with Flamers. And as the Magician pointed out on Reddit, the Locust, was it the Locust 1V, got its machine gun buffs back, the machine gun quirks that were missing. So I'm expecting the Magician to only run a Locust tonight. So keep that in mind as well. Hopefully that'll be pretty entertaining.
so both teams are entering the lobby. They are readying up. Let's talk about what we're going to see, I guess, in the first drop. Couple quick points, because I know I got a little bit off track with all the crazy shit going on. This is Mercstar Charity Invitational, so this is to benefit the research and awareness of multiple sclerosis. So definitely, we'll throw the link up in chat. Donate to the charity. It's a good cause. That's why this Mercstar Invitational exists. As for the match, this is the qualifying round, so all 5 drops will be played. They're earning points to see who's going to move on and who's going to get knocked out, essentially. But we're in a round-robin phase with 2 different groups right now, and then those will go into a final knockout bracket. The first drop here will be on Polar Highlands. I don't have a picture up for it just yet. I should put something in there. But this is going to be a very light drop for 12-man on Polar Highlands. Expect to see quite a few light mechs here. So let's go in and take a look. Don't want to start with no overlay.
So we're going to wait here a little while for the dropships to show up. So they're coming in now, landing on top of each other. That's an interesting little view.
I've been in the inside of those, and I see a dropship like go through my
Coming
mech.
through the other dropship. That's a little intimidating. All right, let's take a look at the mechs here. We've got Arctic Cheetahs, Griffins, Firestarters, 4SP,
I'm seeing
Hunchbacks.
Flamers on SJR.
Oh,
2
boy.
Flamer SRMs. They're bringing a lot of SRMs. This looks like this is going to be a good brawler deck, but almost every single mech, except for the street boats, have Flamers on them.
And I am seeing a lot of lasers. There's a couple Flamer mechs. They did bring in Adder, so there's Flamers there. The Griffin 3M for 228 has a Flamer on it as well, but a lot of laser boats. So here we go. It doesn't look like they have too many Flamers with them. They have mostly lasers instead of missiles. So we'll have to see whether those couple Flamers SJR's brought is going to make a difference against a mostly laser deck.
So typically what I've seen on this map is both teams tend to move towards the side in Conquest that has 2 neutral points. We're seeing 228 moving from Sigma to Kappa, which is kind of along those lines, but cutting kind of the center instead of going straight to Epsilon. SJR, however, has sent some of their mechs outliers to those points, but are sending their main body right up the gut. So I think we're going to have
they're
a
headed
kind of
right at 228 at this point.
we're going to have a kind of a middle of the map engagement here. Now SJR is kind of chillaxing. They're waiting to hear information. Information is definitely power here. So they're staying out of sight and they're waiting for their scouts to get some visuals. So we do have some of the lights, the Firestarters dodging across from Epsilon. 228 is moving towards Epsilon, but is staying mostly packed up. The Theta group has caps, so SJR is up on caps 3-2. And SJR is actually pulling out and rotating towards Theta and maybe Sigma at this point. Epsilon is about to get flipped by 228.
Yeah, I wonder if these two teams passed each other in the night or whether they are aware where they are and are just trying to
I gotta
get in
think
a better
that they
position.
know. I gotta think that those
I have to
scouts got
assume that they're
information.
aware. I mean, here's a Nova for 228 just went flying up into the air, jump jets, getting some information.
Yep,
He has to know where they are, and they have to know where he is.
absolutely. So
And
228
it looks
has
like 228
stopped,
just-
and they are
flipped
going to
the
react.
3 cap.
Yep, so they got the 3 cap. now, and 228 is now moving its main body towards a very spread out SJR. SJR is still, as you can see from this view, there's good cover to move around this map. I really do like this map. But as you can see there, the Shadowcat definitely got some information, made the call, and let's see how SJR reacts now that they're kind of being run up on. They have formed somewhat of a firing line. I think they're going to wait for the call from the Shadowcat as to how close 228 is, and we're going to see one hell of a brawl. So they're going to bring in their light pack from Sigma.
Hunchback 4P, he is leading the charge here.
Here we go.
It's the first shot of the game in. There goes the UAVs. They are getting ready for those street crows. They are not banned in MS as they are in the MS Invitational as they are in MRBC.
SJR is in a very tight pack right here. This is an incredibly tight medium pack.
Smokes.
And now they are on the move. Here we go. So they have called a target, but their left flank is getting really run up on. I'm not sure if they just lost track or what, but the fight has started, and a Nova goes down immediately for 228. SJR doing a very good job focusing their fire on the Nova, and
Let
here
the games
comes
begin.
Let the games begin. All right, I'm gonna hop out and take a look again. We'll see if he forces me back in the cockpit. But a Shadowcat and a Kit Fox have gone down for SJR.
2 kills for 228, 3 kills for SJR right now. SJR in the lead. Just got 4. It's now 3-5. SJR winning this game right now.
I wish I could tell, though. I guess I could bring up this view every once in a while, but okay. Let's go through the match, and I'll talk about it afterwards. Oh my god.
Right now we're sitting at 6 kills for SJR, 5 kills for 228. This is fairly even still running through the match here. Looks like Criven's the one we're going to be riding with for a little while on the fire starter. He's going for
you're
those
on there with me.
And never
Now
mind.
we're back. So it's swapping between teams too. Oh my god.
Now it looks like there's only 3 left alive for 228 at this point. Only 5 dead still for SJR. So SJR managed to pull that one away from the 6-5 score. And this looks like it's going to be a decisive win, and it is for SJR.
Yeah, very very good, solid win. That insta kill on that Nova was big. I mean, I would be surprised if he even got a shot off. That was very very good. I was a little worried. SJR was very packed tight, and I was a little worried that they were kind of getting run up on the left flank. Clearly, it didn't matter. Almost.
Let's take a look at that. Nova did 81 damage, so he must have been running a small pulse Nova and gotten a couple, at least 1 or 2 shots off. That's a lot of alpha.
Absolutely.
In that small pulse.
And that's probably all 12 lasers, and that's it.
But 690 damage for Jaeger and the Street Crow. I mean, they left a Street Crow alive. You leave a Street Crow alive, you're going to give up a ton of damage. 3 kills, 690 damage, best in the game. The Magician and the Hunchback 4 SP, which is not a Locust, 500 damage, and for 228, actually, the Adder, Morgan, did 399, was the best damage, but the Griffin 3M, Nova, all got below 100 damage, and the Firestarter got below 100 damage for 228. Just not enough damage out of those mechs.
So typically I would bring up your instant replay, but since we're both forced to look at the exact same mechs, it's probably not worth it.
Anything.
So I'll at the very least bring up mine. Maybe somebody can see something that, you know, we could have missed. Really hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know if we've got anything we can say other than let the games begin. That was a wild ride there for a little bit at the very least.
Absolutely. So just to recap, we kind of explained it at the beginning of the cast. For anybody who's just arriving now, basically what's going on is since patch there's a bug where anytime anybody who's dead switches their spectator view, it forces both me and MD into the cockpit of whoever they're looking at. And clearly, because it was jumping between teams, it's anybody who is dead. So as more and more people died, it started going rapid fire because everybody's clicking their arrows and it's dodging all over the place. So the initial movements and stuff is fine, but as soon as that first mech dies, it's going to go to shit. So I apologize. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to fix it, and it's not my controller or anything, and it's happening to MD as well. So we're just going to have to prevail, and at the very least we can show the initial battle, we can show a rapid switching of cockpits followed by a scoreboard. So it was really hard to keep track of who was dying at what rate. MD was doing a good job watching the scoreboard. In fact, I would say if you could keep that up, while I try to watch what's happening, you at least tell me who's dying at what rate, and especially in Conquest, we can't see the kills and deaths and stuff as well, and the nice tab bar goes away, unfortunately, once we get forced into a cockpit. So yeah, that's what our night's going to be like tonight, so enjoy the ride.
Russ says, I have altered the spectator tool.
Pray I do not alter it further. And I don't know if this, because they did do something with spectator, they added in the ability to change the spectator controls. Mm-hmm. So I have not made any changes, and neither has MD. Yeah. So it's not that we made changes that is causing this problem, but maybe them touching that is what made this happen.
I know some people like to say that, they make changes and it completely screws up something random. This was something where they were actually changing the spectator tool, and unfortunately, it has a bug, and bugs happen. That's I'm not upset about that. I think this makes for, quite frankly, some rather entertaining matches.
Yeah, and so, I tried to fight at the beginning, but it keeps sucking me back in. So, that's fine. Let's not even bother talking about it anymore. Let's see if we can gather something from this. In a light brawl like this, it's really tough to keep up on what individual actions was causing this to go one way or the other. Because people are dying so quick in 12v12s.
And I couldn't get a feel for the thing I wanted to get a feel for that I couldn't, switching back and forth, was whether SJR and having more flamers gave them the advantage. They obviously won the match, but it's obviously one match is not enough to say, hey, those flamers were the reason they won. SJR is a very, very good team. Mm-hmm. So but I am curious, and I wish I could have actually controlled what the spectator was doing, so maybe we could get a better idea of that, but,
people are yelling at me in chat already to stop switching people. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Oh, boy. So, yeah, it's hard to catch the pace of things. It was tough to see. It looked like at least one of the teams was going torsos. I even saw a Griffin with just one flamer left on his entire mech, which is
still
funny.
Somewhat useful, I guess. You can, you can't do damage or really any useful damage, but you can tie up someone else from doing damage.
Yep.
That's better than maybe having just one small laser.
I tell you what, though, those I was doing a little bit of work in a party crow last night, and after losing the negative quirks, oh my god, it's so fun. Small pulse, 12 small pulse Stormcrow. It is brutal as hell. It is very powerful. So now that that's occurred, let's reward all the people who are watching. In fact, I've decided that because this is such a ridiculous shoutcast, I'm going to give something away every single drop instead of just like every other. So let's do that. I'm removing you from the list, removing Nightbot.
Oh, now my feelings are hurt.
Yeah, they better be. Alright, well, let's go ahead and do a giveaway. So obviously, whoever wins, let us know that you're here. We'll try and look out for you. But I'm not going to be able to do the secondary animation of this where I save you from a giant tentacle monster. But congratulations, Calmheart. Calmheart is our winner. So say something in chat and we'll toss you your code. Congratulations. Cool. Alright. So we are going into the next drop. They are getting into the lobby. They are getting set up. We will be heading into... This is one that I think a lot of people are going to be watching. HPG Manifold on Conquest, a relatively light drop, 4-4-2-2, so 4 lights, 4 heavies. What I personally have been seeing a lot of in HPG on Conquest, a lot of people were like, oh yeah, skirmish sucks because you can just stand off in the distance and they'll have to push you and die. And on the other token, oh well, a brawler deck can just sit underneath and bait a team in. So it was pretty bad in skirmish. In Conquest, we were like, oh, maybe Conquest will make it better. I think it is better, but I'm still seeing a lot of very one-sided gameplay that essentially if you don't bring a specific deck on this map, you will lose. I feel that that's what I've been seeing.
Yeah, I think you have to go range. You have to sit on the wall. Otherwise, you will lose. I mean, you can't camp the bottom in Conquest. And if you can't camp the bottom, then a range deck will always beat a brawl deck unless you have like some fast brawl that can get up on the enemy team quickly. And with the walls the way they are now and how hard it is to get up there, I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, so what we've been seeing a lot of is Overwatch. We got either a lot of mechs up on the wall or some ER large mechs up on the wall. And, oh god, Russ is advertising the match right now.
Russ, come here and watch the match before you advertise it, please.
Well, I'm fine with advertising, and I'm really glad that all you guys are here and can suffer with me. So that's cool. But at the very least,
Whether
hopefully
you
we're
stay
entertaining.
here.
And but I digress. A lot of Overwatch on the outside rim, usually very mobile with jump jets because then they can traverse the entire length of the rim by jumping over walls and stuff like that. This allows them to punish anybody that peeks, and if you try to hold the traditional basement and 2 points on the outside, they can just go around and take those 2 outside points, and now they got a 4 cap on you. They're not camping an area, they're camping the entire map outside ring, and that's what I've been seeing a ton of, absolute ton of. And what I have yet to see personally is a hard counter to that, which I feel would have to be an answer of a lot of ER large weapons. Drive them off the wall through traditional fire, because any attempt to do any sort of brawl or mixed deck versus that, I feel has been failing. And usually it's a lot of Shadow Cats because they can make the jump from the wall and up, and you got Arctic Cheetahs that can make that jump and they can run down, take a cap, get back up and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen here, and I think the first part of this match is going to make or break the outcome, I think. I really feel like this map is going to be won or lost in the planning stages. So both teams obviously have made their decision to what they're going to do, and I'm afraid that if somebody brings a brawl deck and the other person brings the typical wall, it's not going to be boring because one team is going to have to move. When the range team sets up outside and gets the 4 cap, somebody's going to have to make a move. So I don't think it's going to be boring. I think it's going to be a little one-sided. But you never know. Perhaps a well-coordinated rush to the wall, which historically has been very, very bad, perhaps they can pull it off. We will have to
be
see.
Very quick and very coordinated to do that. I think it's a possibility, but I would play my odds range versus range before I did something like that.
I think the teams have been paying attention, and I think that's what they're going to do. I will be surprised if I see any solid brawl here at all.
We're going to change my camera. There we go. Yeah. That's what we're talking about.
You nerd.
That's
You're
what we're
such a
talking
nerd.
about.
I'm going to be Pappy Ponerton and call you a nerd.
It's fine. I'm cool with that. I love this video. Sorry. Your video just came up since we're 5 minutes in the future of the giveaway. That is awesome.
That is pretty slick. I'm happy with it. If anybody out there is like a super genius, either animator or just really good at Flash, get in contact with me, because this tool that this guy made, you can put custom animations in, and I'm thinking something mech related would be really sweet.
Yeah.
I lack the personal skills, but I'm definitely thinking either taking some sort of video and converting it into Flash, or if somebody can do an animation, like, oh god, if I got Plexi, that would be amazing. That guy's a genius.
That guy is incredible. I love his All Systems Nominals. They are great. Which
Absolutely.
free support for Plexi. I believe he has a Patreon now. You can go.
Yeah, he
support
does
him.
have a Patreon. Definitely, if you like the All Systems Nominal stuff, somebody go grab the link and throw it in the chat.
I'll grab the link. I got it.
Awesome. But yeah, definitely support Plexi and his work. He's a great animator and a good storyteller. So, for sure.
Very entertaining.
For sure. Thank you for the follow, Hummel's Bandit V1. Haha, you stole my name. And Afarius, welcome to the crew, gentlemen. And Benzlino. Oh boy. Well, here we go. HPG Manifold and the rapid switching of the spectator once somebody dies. Let's do it.
People's Choice, round 2.
People's choice. The problem is we're giving too many people the choice, and it's you
We
could
need
probably
this
make
is a
this
democracy
politics.
right
Yeah.
now, and we need a dictatorship.
Yeah, we need it to be fascist. I need to wrestle it away from somebody and say you don't deserve control of my camera.
Although I guess since we have a bunch of people watching and they don't get a choice, maybe this is like an oligarchy.
All
Maybe any
right.
politically inclined people can weigh in on that for us.
Let's take some initial looks over here. I am on the 228 side. I've been seeing a lot of 5AC5 Maulers out there. It is brutal. Anytime I see one, I piss myself, basically. So let's see how well he can do. But Panic Button in the Enforcer 4R with large lasers, another large laser Enforcer, another 5AC5 Mauler, and the teams are on the move.
And you know what? SJR is not doing long range. They've got a lot of large pulse lasers, Banshees with large pulse lasers. They have a couple Overwatch, a Shadowcat, a Raven with large lasers, a Nova with smalls and mediums. This is not a Overwatch.
It looks like they
long-range
do have at least an Overwatch mech. Now,
They have,
228
I
has
think,
gone
two,
immediately
at
towards
least.
Theta. They're rushing Theta. This is actually going completely different than I anticipated, and from what I've watched. Now, SJR does have the minor Overwatch, but we're not talking an entire lance up on the wall like what I've been seeing. So this actually could turn into a very interesting fight. So they have rushed Theta with a single lance. This is the Novas and the Timbers have gone down and captured Theta. They took Cap on the outside. Now let's see what movement 228 is going to take here. Looks like they're actually going to defend Kappa. That means SJR could potentially make a move on Theta before 228 can arrive, but the fight's going to be pretty brutal if that happens, because all 228 has to do is traverse this gap right here and join the fight. So, looks like the 228 guys are actually strategically placed almost for a retreat position. If they come in that door, they could bail out.
I think they want to take advantage of having the cap advantage, and
They could potentially ambush a light that comes in there too. Like they're setting up a nice little ambush. They do have T-Fun and the Raven. They have 2 Ravens and a Shadowcat for Overwatch. The Ravens are making their way over, and they're gonna begin trying to trade with 228 up close and personal.
yeah,
on the
they've
wall.
got to be careful if they get up close. 228 might be within range at that point to really hit them hard.
A Raven will not last long to this much firepower. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
So this has to be very, very careful. However, the cap's definitely ticking in favor of 228. So SJR at some point is going to have to make a move here. It's on them to make the move. Uncle Russ coming downstairs to take a peek with his Arctic Cheetah. Let's see how dangerous this peek is. Oh, nobody saw him. He got a good glimpse in there. Got back. The Timber was looking the wrong way. Got the information he needed. And another peek. Nobody's taken any target shots of opportunity there. This guy here should have been in. Oh, Jesus, here they come. We have a rush into Theta. 228, you're going to see all those little arrows moving really quick here.
And here they come.
And they
228's
have bailed
trying to
out.
run away at this point, and there they go. They're coming out the gate as well. 228's trying to help these guys. But I don't know if they responded quick enough. They might get a couple kills here before the rest of their team come around that wall at the gate.
For our sake, I hope not.
And it looks like they got away. Yes,
Okay,
they did
so
get away.
we've
All
got a
right.
change of position here. SJR now controls Theta. 228 looks like they are curving around and may make a run for Epsilon, or they may just control the outside. But now we've had a change.
Yeah, and they've got a couple Enforcer 4Rs that are pinning down SJR's Overwatch a little bit, making it a little hard on them. And a Firestarter up on the wall just closed on one of SJR's Ravens, and that Raven is beat up, and he is in a lot of trouble right now.
Looks like the Firestarter is leaving the Raven alone,
He's
which is
trying to get
good.
the
But
rest
while
off.
this is happening, SJR is exiting the basement through the back way. I believe they know that they're there. 228 is moving up to intercept, and at the
228's
very
gotta be
least,
Pisces Zero is cord in his Timberwolf, and he is the first one that they will engage if they come up there.
we do have our first dead mech. The Raven 4X has gone down, and here we go.
It's gun.
I'm going to hop back out and take a look until he starts mashing that button again. But we have a very strong top-down attack here from 228, closing on SJR. It's hard to tell exactly what's happening here. 228 is pushing up on the left side. They jump down in the ramp. They have them from two angles now.
Yeah,
and
SJR is really uncoordinated at this point. They need to get some focus going on here.
they do have
Another
a lot of
mistake.
damage output, though. 228 is very hurt. A lot of mechs are hurt. But
They actually just tied it up 2-2 right now. And
Jesus
four,
Christ.
actually, another
Come
two
on.
just died. It's now 3-4. SJR just took the lead all of a sudden there.
All right, hands off. All right, let's go along for the ride.
4-5 now. SJR still in the lead. That damage, early damage, I think that they got on that initial push underneath and caught those couple of mechs, I think really gave them the damage advantage, if not, the kill advantage. And it's keeping them in this game, despite what I would say is a poor position to be in.
Looks like the Mauler just ran out of ammunition. The Mauler just ran out. One of the Maulers is out of ammo completely, and he's
Yeah,
fresh.
but at this
Grim-
point, there's only 4 228 mechs alive, and there's only 5 dead for SJR. SJR has this one in hand.
Oh, I'm getting dizzy.
Only two alive now for 228. It's gonna be over shortly
I'm
here.
just gonna keep this up. I can't watch. Panic Button is the last one alive once again, and goes down.
Down he
fighting.
goes.
Very, very good brawl by SJR. It looked at the beginning like SJR was in trouble, but just watching the percentages, they were dealing some pretty significant damage. It wasn't all to one target, but I watched a lot of percentages start to drop on 228's side. So even though SJR had an early disadvantage, it didn't take long for SJR to start sealing the deal on a lot of those mechs. They did a really good job just landing their shots where it needed to be and coring people out. That Mauler, the one that ran out of ammo, did 755 damage.
Yeah.
I mean, he
well,
did
usually
work.
when you run out of ammo in a Mauler, it's not because you didn't bring enough. I really do think that initial push, and just looking at, looked like Charlie Lance, Nova, Timberwolf were the ones that were down below, and the best damage in Charlie Lance was 195 damage by a Nova. I mean, 3 100, 200 damage games and 183 damage out of a Timberwolf. Those were the 4 guys that were underneath. I think them being underneath, they didn't get out of there quick enough. SJR was able to do a ton of damage to them before the rest of 228 came through the gate and came around that wall, because once you come through the gate, there's a great big wall in front of you. It's not like you can just start shooting as soon as you get through that gate. So I really do feel that even though 228 got up 2-0 in kills early, SJR, despite being in what I would say is a weaker position with 228 above them, just had done so much damage at that initial kind of skirmish engagement that they were able to catch up and then surpass 228 in the kills like it was like it was nothing.
So pretty much everything that I was saying at the beginning with heavy Overwatch, that went out the door.
Yeah.
Obviously, both teams had another idea. I wonder what would have happened if there was a bigger Overwatch presence out there. However, you got to consider this. 228 did not go and take Theta with their main body. They maintained Kappa. They sent a small unit into Theta that was almost a sacrificial unit because they did get beat up, but they all got out alive.
Yeah.
That's basically telling SJR, bring it. They have enough guys there to force out any lights that charge in, but they it's a few enough guys and fast enough and durable enough guys to get out when SJR came in. So they forced SJR to make the move. If SJR had like a bigger Overwatch, they couldn't have just gone and taken Sigma or Kappa or something like that, because 228 would have chased him off. So I think it was a very good position by 228 at the beginning, and then they made the move. We said, oh, well, it's not going to be on time, but you know what? All they had to focus on is getting those clan mechs out of the basement. They all joined together. Now SJR's in the basement. 228's up top. 228 then can essentially just watch the doors. I don't know if they knew right away that SJR had already started exiting. I think that kind of gave SJR a head start. If 228 knew sooner that that SJR was not wasting any time getting outside, if that call was made sooner, if their mechs got into action sooner and overwatched that gate, it could have very well went the other direction. But SJR did not waste any time. They got out of there, and even though it was a fight from the top to the bottom, it was more on even ground than if they were getting shot in the back exiting the tunnels. I think that was big. That speed from SJR got them into an equal terrain to shoot from, and it was a little bit spread. You can see there we got two orange guys on 228's side. They're down a mech. They've got Ruza getting hurt pretty bad. Quicksilver's getting hurt pretty bad. But now you got a 49% on the other side as well, a 68. Like, the percentages for 228 overall were going down. Now, in the past, we've called, well, look at this. It's not very focused. The damage is spread throughout everybody. But then they started sealing the deal. They take the lead here. They maintain the lead and then take it into the win, and that really came down to, it was a lot of split fire at the beginning, a lot of percentages going down for 228. While that was happening, though, 228 was not sealing the deal on the SJR mechs fast enough to get ahead. They needed to get a much bigger lead right there. Well, SJR was kind of spreading their damage around. They needed to land their shots better. And start killing some people there, because coming away with only a 1 mech lead and then SGR starts getting their shit together and starts killing people, it's over. So this is one of those matches where the scoreboard, in my opinion, does not reflect. Oh God, I can't watch this. The scoreboard.
This is the games. They have begun.
The scoreboard does not reflect how close this match actually was. We're talking a game of seconds. If 228 moved a little bit faster or had better
I really
information.
think there was 2 moments there. 228 getting out of the underneath by Theta if they had been like a half a second faster, and SJR if they'd been a half a second slower getting out of Theta afterwards. You would have seen a completely different game. But I thought it was interesting that 228 did bring some enforcers, clearly with the intent of either maintaining Overwatch or clearing Overwatch off the top. They also, I thought it was interesting, sent that Firestarter up there, and I thought he did a good job of getting the Overwatch mechs out of there, at least for a little while. He forced that Raven to jump off, and then I lost him before he got the Shadowcat, but it looked like he was going for the Shadowcat next. I kind of like that. I kind of like sending one light mech, especially if you know there's multiple Overwatch on the wall. One light mech, if he plays it right and gets up there quick enough, can essentially neutralize that entire Overwatch force. So you're trading 1 for, in this case, 3 mechs. I think that's a good trade.
Absolutely. So, we are headed into our next map, which is Canyon Network. A little bit higher tonnage to work with here, but still an average only of about 50-ish tons per mech. Somewhere around that. So don't expect to see too many assaults walking around on this one. This is going to be a lot of mediums, I think, either very heavy mediums or more into the heavies and bringing the lights in there as well.
So you want to give a strategy prediction after that last HPG one where we were so accurate?
Where we were so wrong? You know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to do another giveaway.
I
think we're going to do another giveaway
here.
I said I was going to do a giveaway every match, so we're going to do a freaking giveaway every match. So I just got to kick out the people that, like Nightbot, that I don't want to win, and let's do it.
Yes, and responding in chat, this is for charity. Doyle just posted in chat again. This is Markstar Invitational Charity Series. They are raising money to stop MS, so please do consider donating if you have the financial means to do so. If you do not, we understand not everyone is in a position to donate, but you can always help by just spreading the word, raising awareness, just even a retweet or a tweet, I guess you could say, or a post or something anywhere on Facebook or whatever you might use in social networks could help raise funds, even if you aren't able to donate yourself.
Absolutely. Our winner today is Chrisman X. Say something in chat to let us know that you're here. Obviously, you're freaking playing, so you probably won't have me unmuted, but we'll see. But congratulations, Chrisman. You are the winner of a code. Really quick, holy crap. I think I already said Superman, but Surfin' Gayjuin, Door Jams, Heavenless WF, Nanner Hammock, and Undone Jin. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the crew.
You guys make it so hard. I don't think people realize how hard they make it when they set their username.
At least it's not like XXX Sephiroth XXX or something like that.
XXX.
At least I could have pronounced that though, but so Canyon Network, Conquest Canyon Network. So we've got like a north spawn and a south spawn. Everybody spawns relatively close together. In pug matches, we typically see an immediate pug NASCAR to the opposite side of the map. Everybody goes to the ramp and then fights over Theta and stuff like that. This is what we see most often. Do not typically see that in competitive. Teams will punish you for making that type of movement unless you're ready to lay down the hurt. We've been seeing some Overwatch style, especially from the South team, doing Overwatch.
And that Delta 4 area is real tough.
Yeah, even after the range nerfs, the key that I've been seeing is that you don't play to kill your opponent, you play to control the map, especially on Conquest. And if you can control Theta without being at Theta, that's pretty important. So we could see brawls here, and we could see jump jet brawls, but I feel like that D4 region is very difficult to fight against because it has a giant pit in front of it. You can't just go walking up. So either you're forcing yourself to bring a lot of jump jet mechs to penetrate that, or you're coming in from another direction, which is a lot of large lasers can punish that.
Yeah, there's not really a good approach. If you come straight on, there's the giant pit in front of it, but you got to go up onto that level ground next to Theta. Oh, that was pleasant. Thank you. Oh, okay. Well, I just got to enjoy Bandit when he muted himself, but not me. Thanks, Bandit. God. So anyway, you could charge head on, but you got to go up onto that level ground in front of Theta, and I mean D4 just has a perfect firing angle to shoot at you there. Or you can come from the angles, but every approach there's not really cover to come from, and you've got to go a long way. If you go along that bridge to get across, you're out in the open, you don't have a lot of cover for that final approach. That might be maybe the best way because there's the rocks on the other side of the bridge where that little like radio tower is. But even then, you've got to cross a bridge that's a choke point, or you got to do the whole jump jet thing again. Just not a lot of great approaches for Delta 4. I think that's a very strong position. And I think that the counter to it is you just spread out your team and try and poke as best you can from multiple angles. But
do you feel like there's any equivalent to Delta 4 on the north side? I don't know if it has as many options for Overwatch without completely spreading out into a lot of regions. Not as close
to the cap point. The key for Delta 4 is it's so close to Theta. I think it's
just across the water, basically, just across the canyon.
On the north side, I think there's other good areas where you can do a decent job, get some good cover, spread out, and kind of do the same thing. But you're farther away from Theta, so you really can't do as much damage to Theta. You're just at either maximum range or just outside it. So I think Delta 4 is the best spot on Canyon right now. but we'll see what they do. I mean, we were completely wrong for HPG, so who knows?
Absolutely. I mean, anything that we say is purely based on speculation or what we've seen in the past personally, but your results may vary. Absolutely. So, popping in, taking a look here, we are on the 228 side. I am seeing large pulse, medium pulse, grasshopper, ER large laser, enforcer, large pulse, medium pulse, ER large. So a good solid. Did you just switch between cockpits?
I am.
You bastard! I think you forced me into it.
Am I forcing you in? No.
Not right now, no.
No.
It just like suddenly for some maybe I double clicked. I don't know. I'm
Now
paranoid.
I'm seeing some ER large quick draws even after the overall range reductions for the inner sphere. Still seeing those mechs. Mostly a mix of ER larges and large lasers. The quirked mechs, Enforcer 4Rs, etc. A couple Stormcrows with the clan lasers, but it looks like one PPC mech. Let me go back to that.
So it looks like SJR is in the D4 region, but what we're seeing is 228 has a bit more Overwatch, but they are sending a strike force very close up onto this left side
and
here.
You know what? Jaeger has them on seismic. He knows they're there.
So we've got two like Timberwolf groups with Eben Jags over here on the left side that can really turn that range flank around. So let's see how 228 reacts to having, I'm assuming, some more brawly mechs that close to them. They're actually going on the offensive and moving. They have conceded, oh my god, Tweakin in the Arctic Cheetah on SJR's side did lose his life on Theta. So they're down one mech, and Theta goes to 228. SJR did move up more aggressively to this pillar, but has not committed to going around the side. We're seeing a lot of good strikes going back and forth here, just trying to drive people down, doing whatever damage they can. A lot of really good hits into the 228 mechs, seeing a lot of very hurt guys.
Yeah.
So even with
228's got
SJR being
a little
down,
bit more damage right now.
even with SJR being down, but they do lose another mech. Another light mech does go down, but once again, oh god,
And the fun has begun.
a lot more hurt mechs on 228 side. It's not going to take much to seal the deal, but if they don't start killing those mechs soon, more and more SJR mechs could start falling here. Panic Button and Ed, they got to back up. Peter probably has to back up. They filter to the back, bring your fresher mechs to the front, and see what they can do.
Just went down.
So Panic does go down. They're still trading very hard. What SJR does not have is in the back here. They don't have anything to hard counter this Arctic Cheetah and the Firestarter back here. So they're having to use their time to drive off those light mechs because they no longer have light support to do it for them. They do have one Arctic Cheetah still around, but I think he's focusing more on...
And it's now 2-2 right now.
In
fact,
fact,
some of these 228 mechs are very beat up.
he's looking like he might be lagged. So 4 mechs for 228 have gone down. They still only have the 2 down for SJR, so...
And another one went down. 5-3 now. SJR still has the lead. But 228 is very beat up at this point. I don't know if they have the mechs or the damage to be able to survive this. And another one goes down now. This looks like it's rapidly going in SJR's favor again. A lot of just cord CT mechs on 228's side here.
Man, I mean, with getting the lead on the lights there, and then having your lights harassing the back, you would think
still losing it, yeah.
You'd think that you would be able to do a little bit more work in the front with 3 or 4 of their mechs being distracted in the back, but SJR must have just been landing their shots so well and punishing 228 on every attempted peek. That is...
Yeah, only 4 mechs left now for 228. They are hiding back in that corner, and they're just getting funneled down at this point. SJR is going to spread out, just finish them all off.
I don't think there's much else to say besides 228 or besides SJR is just landing their shots very well.
Yeah.
And they're doing the job incredibly well. We keep acting like, oh, well, SJR's got the lead and stuff like that, and 228 hasn't killed a single one yet, and they're down 2 mechs, but didn't matter.
Flip that around.
They did the job.
And then it makes sense.
Yeah, being down 2 mechs, they still put their shots where they needed to be and got the job done professionally. It was very well done by SJR. Even having those 2 light mechs down with a combined total of 30 damage, they didn't even need them. Didn't even need them. Man, I really thought that was gonna go 228's way
Yeah,
there,
I thought they had
and
the
that
better
was a
position,
surprise. That
the
was
early advantage, but you're right. I mean, and the damage, to be honest, looks a little even, if not more damage for 228. Looking across the board here, we had Tweakin and the Arctic Cheetah went down 0 damage, and T-Fun went down with 30 damage in the Firestarter for SJR. The first 2 kills got a combined 30 damage before they went down, and really, I would say damage is just about even, if not basically right about even.
The fact that you're doing the
Top
same
performers are on
same amount of
SJR's side.
damage, you're doing the same amount of damage as SJR, but SJR is landing the kills. A lot of SJR mechs were hurt and very close to death there. Absolutely,
But a great job of spreading. I mean, 228 only got 4 kills that match with basically equal damage. So I think that comes down to, like you said, SJR is landing their shots and they're spreading damage really well. They're doing the 2 things that really differentiate, the top players from just about everyone else in the game.
Absolutely. Criven, Diabolic, Hide Your Kids, Super Atomic Airplane, a whole lot of 1s and 0s, and Fulgrim. See, now they're doing this on purpose with these names. And Fulgrimme, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the crew. Goodness gracious. But man, that's, if anybody was watching MRBC Season 6 and felt like SJR was having a bad season, they were. But they're back. I mean, I've gone against them. They're back. They're doing some freaking work. So do not underestimate SJR.
I don't know if any of you guys noticed there, but not only is Jaeger back, but he was running the dual PPC Gauss Rifle Timberwolf that he had been known to run in the past. So I guess the meta can change, but he never will. So there you go.
So what we're seeing now on the replay here, 228 brings up some of their light mechs to challenge. The one light mech that's still there, looks like the other one bailed out, so they kind of left one guy behind at Theta. And at some point, and I didn't get to watch it.
We're hearing that Tweakin actually crashed. The Arctic Cheetah crashed as he got to Theta, and that's why he did no damage and wound up being the first kill.
That sucks. That sucks. You never like to see that. Hopefully that's something that won't happen again. But that's definitely a shame. However, it didn't cost them the team the match, so that's the key.
And the other thing to keep in mind here is in the Mercstar Invitational, unlike MRBC, which is the other tournament that we do a lot of shoutcasts for, all that matters is the win.
Absolutely.
So it's not going to hurt SJR that they had another mech die. Fortunately for 228, that extra kill doesn't give them anything other than maybe a little bit of consolation.
Yeah, but I do feel like this is another one where just a little bit in one direction or the other could have flipped the other way. There was a lot of damage being dealt by both teams. A lot of these early trades into 228 though definitely in favor of SJR. They took like I was like, oh, SJR's on the move. They did move and then they stopped, but that movement I think gave them better control over that corner than where they were originally, and it was a very, very good, solid move, and whatever they did, it got them what they needed, and they were almost in a power position, just punishing anybody that peeked, playing whack-a-mole and doing it very well. The 228 lights were harassing in the back, but clearly SJR's front line was doing just fine on its own, that they could sacrifice those back mechs to spend their time on the lights and dispatch them very well. I was saying last night when we were talking about it, when we were scrimming and that D4 position was used, the question was raised, well, why didn't the lights go in and harass? And I think just watching those 228 lights get completely mauled in the background, that is not a very easy place to assault, even with a light mech. You don't have a lot of places you can hide, and if they take one step out, they've got you, And they didn't waste any time taking those 228 lights down.
And like we said, I mean, 228 can look at it one of two ways. They didn't win the match, so I'm sure they're disappointed about it. They did the exact same amount of damage, basically. I mean, his damage was even. It wasn't like they just got rolled. Unfortunately, SJR, like you said, is really coming on strong here. Their pilots are really seeming to put in a lot of work, and they were able to twist that damage off better than 228. Like I commented when we were in the people's choice of spectating, it certainly felt like every 228 mech that we spectated in that rapid fire sequence was cord CT, and that's one of the hardest things when you're doing those longer duration ranged builds with the ER larges, etc., to be able to fire and twist without taking that damage CT, because you got the longer duration weapons. It's not like you're running small pulse lasers where it's essentially front loaded damage. So it's just, and take nothing against 228 there, but just a heck of a job by SJR to be able to still use those weapons and spread damage across all their mechs is pretty impressive.
Absolutely, and filtering your weaker mechs to the back, letting your stronger mechs take a lot of the hits, and it's not just spreading the damage on your mech, but when you know that you're not able to hold the front anymore, instead of sticking it out and getting killed, you take a step back, somebody else takes your spot, and they're fresh, and that's why you don't see a lot of kills right in the beginning of these trade matches, because neither team is really making a mistake in that regard. They're doing a very good job filtering mechs to the back, not allowing people to get cored out and killed, because as soon as that first mech dies, it's like dominoes.
Yeah, and that's the other thing to point out is I don't think there's been really a mistake at all in the drop calling, as far as we can tell. And maybe on HBG there were tiny criticisms on timing on the order of like a second, which is not a criticism. You can't critique someone on that. So two very experienced teams doing a very good job, I think, with strategies. At no point did either of us, I think, look at each other and said, what the heck are they doing, or their drop decks aren't up. It's literally the difference here, I think, is just coming down to individual pilots and who's piloting better at any given moment. And I think that's what we really want to see out of a competitive match, right? You don't want to watch a competitive match where it ends because they brought the wrong drop deck or they just made some silly call.
Yeah, these matches are close. This isn't a 12-0 stomp. These matches are very close, and they're exciting. They're exciting to watch. So I've been very happy with it. Schopenhauer 42, Wedge 8, LT 424, and Avatar of what? Oh, I got them all! Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the crew. Let's do another giveaway.
Giveaway time.
Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm seeing in chat, Jaeger has been running that Timberwolf 2 PPC Gloss build for a while now, but you know what? He's doing fine in it. I'm not going to tell him to change. Sure, it's not the meta right now, but don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Alright, the wheel of death spins. Who gets the code? LP Magic, you are the winner. Say something in chat so we know that you are here, but congratulations, good sir.
Man, getting a lot of guys I recognize here winning on the giveaways. Pretty sure this is a conspiracy.
These are guys you do know or don't know?
I do know. Yeah, these are these ones.
No, is it LP Magic or IP Magic? Because I always thought it was IP Magic. Maybe it's LP.
I always thought it was LP.
It's probably LP.
Let's get some confirmation in here in chat. For your response, please let us know.
You could probably
if it's an I or an L.
At the list here. It is LP Magic. It
is
forces
L?
the capitalization in Twitch, so...
Oh, okay.
It is, in fact, LP Magic.
Well, I guess I'm right again. Not that that's anything new.
Oh, man. Raffle a Kodiak pack to whoever donates tonight. I'll get you the names and cover the pack. Boom! That just made things a hell of a lot more interesting.
There you go, guys.
So,
the ante has been upped.
The ante has been upped. If you donate to the link that somebody's about to put in chat, then you will have a chance at winning a Kodiak pack. Wow!
Man,
Go
now I
donate.
want to donate.
I kind of want to. donate as well, man.
But for real, you should donate anyway, even if a Kodiak pack's not up. It's a good thing to do. It's for a good cause, and it really can help some people out who could.
Here,
I don't want to say you could use the help, but you could probably put a smile on someone's face donating there.
I forgot that I put that in chat. So there you go. I pointed at you to put it in chat, but I could do it myself. All mods should be able to do that. So, awesome. Good shit, man. All right, drop 4 going into Tourmaline Desert. This is a little bit of heavier match, 3-3-3-3. So this is where we're going to be seeing some assaults on Tourmaline Desert. I'm not sure what to think. I haven't seen Tourmaline since patch, so the patch really hurt a lot of the longer range. Anybody who's quirked up to 25%, it's all down to 10% now, only for the generics. So maybe they're gonna pick mechs that still have like ER large specific quirks, because maybe that'll give them the advantage over a generic like 5SS or something like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, you still can get up to 10% range. You're still doing damage at 700, 800 meters with ER larges. Sure that you can't reach out to 900 max damage, but on a map like Tourmaline, I think it's a map that naturally lends itself to range. That being said, we've been seeing some maybe not Pug standard drop decks so far. Obviously, this is not a Pug match. But so we've been seeing, I don't want to say like completely against the trends, but not necessarily just blindly following the trends with these drop decks, but I would expect to see another range drop here.
If everybody takes up their usual positions, if this kind of follows the status quo, if nobody makes any major changes to their deck, I think the only thing you would see is a significant increase in time to kill. The match will just take longer. That's if they go with what's been happening. Now, at the same token, the addition of Conquest in this, we have been seeing a lot more closer in fighting and stuff like that. And I wouldn't be surprised to see some good mid-range decks in a Theta battle with a lot of, you got 3 lights to work with, so we might see some fringe battles going on here. So let's see how they handle it. I honestly have no clue how this is going to go, because I haven't had a lot to go off of, so excited to watch.
Yeah, and we have seen in some comp matches that everyone charges that middle conquest point. You just get this big brawl right there. Both teams kind of come over a ridge at the last second, and there's just like this little region with a ridge on either side that they just cram as many assault mechs into as possible.
So I'm over here on the SJR side. We're taking a look. ER large Hellbringer Prime, ER large Stalker 4N, ER large 1X, ER large 4N. This is the team, and I like to point this team out. This is the team that gets to trade right off the bat. They've been put here for a reason.
It's a full brawl deck.
Interesting.
SRM Small Pulse, AC5 Maulers, 2 AC5 Maulers. SRM 6s, Stormcrows.
Oh man, so that Lance is immediately walking up. If these guys start getting their shots on target, but that's Dhaka City. Nobody's going to want to peek that. So this is traditionally where you see a big laser trade, but right off the bat, heavy tossed Dhaka into them, and now the Stalkers are on the move. Yep. They are running like hell.
And the other 228 Lances are heading right to Theta.
So immediate aggression by 228, definitely a good move, I would say, by them. Now we've got a Lance at Kappa. This is their light pack, and they are coming up behind SJR. So they actually have SJR completely surrounded now.
And I think what they're going to try and do is get SJR to back away from them into this Lance, which is going to be engaging soon. And I'm not so sure that
now it's only the light Lance though, so they can't do too much. They are taking some fire.
They just took some fire here.
Yep, so they know they're there, but they did get a strike in there. Let's see if that does any significant damage. Does land on a few mechs, nothing too big. But 228 continues its aggression, and they've got SJR on their heels. So being this close and not seeing a huge discrepancy in percentages, I would say advantage at this point going to 228. Can they finish it, though? Are they pure brawl? I know they have the
They
DACA,
are
which gives
pure
them a little
brawl.
bit of a reach, but they are in a great position right now. And it actually pains me that they focused more on Theta instead of going in and taking advantage of those ER larges.
Yeah, I don't like seeing this at all. I think they had them in a great position. I think they had them backing up, trying to get range again, and now they've given that advantage up, and they're going to take just a little bit of damage, I think, here and there from these lasers that, without putting out damage. It's tough. That's
You know,
tough to see.
we're really going to have to watch how this turns out. I do feel like they did have SJR on the run. Now SJR is up on the ridge, and at least you'd have to take a really roundabout way to get up there.
Yeah, that
However,
ridge is a really good ridge to be on, I think, if you're up against a brawl deck. It's hard to get up.
absolutely.
It's
And now you
tough.
got to keep in mind though, 228 controls 3-0 on points right now. That's important to know. They're about to go up 4-0. So this could have been a big move as long as they're not losing mechs, which the Mauler just got pretty hurt there. As long as they're not losing mechs to SJR here, that's a big cap lead and they need to
And
maintain.
that Mauler is Cord CT, light orange core for you, 62%.
So we're
But
getting
at
a
the
little
same
bit
time,
of
the
trades over
Stormcrow
here.
for SJR, Valkyrie is also...
They're putting some
Cord
good
missing
shots into
half
that
of
Battlemaster. He's getting hurt. They're going in. It looks like we've got ourselves a
And
brawl.
the first kill is down for SJR.
So, oh, Jesus.
And here we go. The games have begun.
The games have begun. So, 228 now has...
SJR gave up that ridge, and I think they're going to regret that.
Yeah,
They needed that ridge to stay in range, and they are getting pounded right now. 2 kills now for 228, 1 kill for SJR.
They did
And
go
here
up
comes the
on
brawl.
damage pretty well, though, but now they've got to be running hot as hell. And are
Yeah,
we seeing any
and
flamers
3
from any of
kills
this, or is
now
this
for
just pure brawl?
228.
It looks to me like it's just pure, straight-up brawl.
Pure
They're just
brawl.
relying on ER larges just generate so much goddamn heat. 3 mechs down now for SJR. Now, this is getting a little bit spread out here.
4 mechs now for SJR. I don't think that
228 is
SJR has
very
mechs on the
spread.
field.
There goes Glory in the blackjack, and we're going to go along for the ride.
Now 7 mechs down for SJR. This is going to go in 228's favor.
That was
Another
a
goes
very
down.
powerful brawl, absolutely. So we were criticizing that 228 could have ended it there, but they saw their opening. SJR moved in and got aggressive again, and then that's
And I think
when
they
228
had
made
to
the
because
call.
they were down caps.
Absolutely.
SJR
Absolutely.
ignored the caps, and that forced them to give up that ridge, which is a great defense against brawl decks.
Absolutely.
And look what happened. They had to give up the ridge. They had to go for caps, and 228 was waiting right for them.
I think this is the longest we've been in a single mech this whole freaking Shoutcast.
Yeah, there we go.
So, good job by 228 there, gambling on the brawl deck, and it definitely worked. That immediate suppression on that first lance on that left side, just basically hold W to win right there, toss that DACA downfield. Very smart place to put those specific mechs, because that is a very dangerous place. Let's say they didn't run straight forward. Let's say they tried to rejoin the rest of their brawler group. Those stalkers could have done major damage to those guys right off the bat, but
Yeah.
they immediately toss DACA downfield. The stalkers say, fuck that, I'm out. They run, and that begins the dominoes of a solid brawl deck getting into position, taking Theta, forcing SJR up against the wall, then taking 4 caps, forcing SJR then to move in where they don't want to be, and then there the brawl starts and finishes.
And not only that, both those stalkers did under 100 damage, and the other assault mech, the Battlemaster, did 101 for SJR. So there's your 3 biggest tonnage, all basically doing 100 or less damage, whereas for the assault mechs, 3 assault mechs all did at least 400 for 228. So that was a great strategy. Push those assaults right in the beginning. SJR was expecting, I think, to have their bigger mechs with the more firepower, the more weapons right on that corner to get some early trades in, and that was a good counter by 228. Like I said, I think we both questioned their hesitance there to pull back to Theta, but it turns out getting Theta and getting that other 4th cap, I think really just forced SJR into a losing situation.
All right. want to reiterate. So there we just saw that initial shot and very aggressive move by 228 there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they saw the DACA, but they don't necessarily know that that's a pure brawl deck at that point, because DACA can slot in into a few different roles.
Yeah.
But either way, the Stalkers are not laying down the fire. They're retreating back already in a very bad position. The entire time that entire lance is moving, 228 is closing the gap and getting into brawler range. And that's already a bad situation for SJR. This is one of those ones where you could probably say it was lost in the deck or in the planning stages. I don't know if you had the same tools on both sides. Is there anything you think you could have done differently to put this in favor of SJR, or is...
Well, I think what cost SJR to me, or at least what definitely decided the game, was the lack of going for caps. They needed to be playing the cap game, especially as a range team. I think you really can't ignore the caps because you can't just catch up.
But they've only got one Arctic Cheetah. They brought 2 Ravens. How are they going to commit to caps when you've got enemy cheetahs and fire starters running around?
Yeah,
I think that's a bad place, because even if they had 2 caps, they still would have at some point had to have made a move. Now, they could have waited and maybe kind of ground down 228 a little bit longer if they had the pleasure of 2 to 3 caps. But then they sent one of their lights off the Gamma, and it's a 4-0 or 4-1 cap. That's pretty big. Like, that's really big. So,
yeah, maybe if they had a little more of the traditional brawler light mechs that could handle a light versus light cap war.
I almost think that the Stalkers and the mechs that made that initial peak, instead of bailing out from the DACA, I almost feel like they had to take it for the team and just start tossing as much damage to those approaching mechs as possible. It's a 4-on-4 fight. DACA is incredibly hard to really shoot through. It's hard to say, man.
You can't torso twist DACA. It's very hard to do that. So
that it is FaceTime. So maybe if they got all 4 of their mechs up and cored someone out, maybe they could have pulled it off, or at least tilted it a little bit more in their favor. But oh, man, what is it? The Maulers? Is that what we were saying? Is it the 5 AC5 Maulers?
Yeah, 5 AC5
Holy
Maulers.
crap,
and a
that thing
dire
is
wolf.
dangerous. Like I said earlier, I piss myself when I frickin' see those things.
Yeah, those things hurt, but you're right. 228 had the perfect drop deck and the perfect strategy to implement that drop deck, and SJR really just played right into their hands there. So, I think if it had been 3-2 caps, maybe SJR would have been a little more patient. But like you said, when it's 4-1, you're losing cap points so fast, you can't wait to be patient. You got to do something.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to toss out there again, the offer has been made by SACE that if you guys donate to the charity, your names will then be put in a hat for a Kodiak pack. I'm just going to let that sink in for a second. If you donate to the charity, you're going to be eligible for a Kodiak pack. Go donate. I'm expecting to see a shit ton of names showing up here, and it's, of course, going to be for a very big cause, so you should be donating anyways. But I'm not seeing very many names showing up here. That means that if you donate, you're going to have a pretty goddamn good chance at it. So you guys should donate. It's obviously tax deductible, so do it anyways. It's for a good cause. But now there's some meat on the table that you guys can chop up and take home with you. So go do that. Go do that now.
Yep. Do you want to do a giveaway as well now that we're...
I'm just finishing up on the replay. Things going in favor of 228. There he goes. So, for anybody who's just tuning in, and I'm sure the chat's been doing a good job tossing that information out to you guys too, there is a bug since last patch that basically, after the first mech dies, the person that dies, when he changes into spectator mode and starts switching between mechs, it forces both me and MD to switch with them, and as more people die, the faster the switching happens until it's rapid fire, and it makes it very dizzy. It's hard because they're all switching and trying to make calls and guide the teammates. And that's what I always say, let the games begin, because I have absolutely no control over what happens. So I do apologize for that. It's completely 100% out of my control. There's nothing I can do to fix it. We've passed that information along to PGI, and I guess we will have to watch and see how that goes. CGB Noxon, Shano61, and EMP Coburn, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the crew. Hopefully you guys are at least entertained right now. I'm having fun watching the matches, even with the glitch. It's actually kind of hilarious, but it really is anticlimactic at the end, where you basically have to listen to MD and watch me hold tab down so you can see what the hell's happening. But really, the run-up to those deaths is pretty exciting. As the deaths start happening, you get to see the fruits of their labor, but it's still pretty damn exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and do another giveaway here. Well,
I like that we have the minigame in public queue, which is, am I going to get the map that I want, or am I going to get my multiplier up to like 9,000? Or am I going to do the minigame in private lobbies, where am I going to give the spectators a seizure from flipping through mechs fast enough? So, there you go. 3 games in 1. There we go. Hula Bandit.
Oh, jeez. So, round and round she goes. Let's see who gets the code this time. Sorry, Chrisman, you can't win that again, you lucky bastard. Go buy a lottery ticket. I'm going to go ahead and re-roll that.
Or donate to the MS thing.
I should have taken your name out of the list. Let's do that, because you're a lucky bastard. Let's do it again. Or go donate for the Kodiak, and you might win the Kodiak. There you go.
We want an MDM cheerleader. Frost, if we get a Hulu Bandit, I'm fine with an MDM cheerleader.
There you go.
There you go. We'll just replace our cameras with just those 2 images for you guys.
Congratulations, Core Knight. Say something in chat and you will be sent your code. Awesome. So we are headed into the final map, Frozen City Night. 800 to 825 tons, so definitely one of the heaviest drops of them all. So this is a traditionally Brawly map. I wouldn't be surprised to see Brawly used here as well. And I also would not be surprised to see Flamers used again, because I saw Flamers being used earlier on Polar Highlands very effectively. Whether or not the Flamers actually made a difference, it's hard to say. Both teams were using them, so who knows? But I've been seeing them, and it looks like it's working. So we'll have to see again whether somebody brings them here and what happens with those.
So it looks like the 2 teams are just getting ready in lobby now, so hopefully we'll be rolling here quickly.
Just having some, I guess, confusion on the rule set. Hopefully they can fix that. This is 825 tons max. I want to make sure that that jives with what's on the rule set document. Drop 5, 825 max tons. So it looks like they're doing a last minute switch of their mechs to get down into the rule set.
That math's hard.
So
it's a lot of big numbers.
Magician is bad at math, can confirm. Good stuff. So they're going to go ahead and fix that. So it sounds to me like we'll have a little bit of a delay before we get started here, because they were all pretty much readied up. But it's better than a redrop, so I'm happy. Oh, man. So this is week 2 of the Mercstar Charity Invitational. There is a total, I believe, 5 weeks for the qualifiers. Each team gets a bye week in both groups. So I know our team right now is in a bye week, which I'd rather be playing, but that's okay. Once the 5 weeks is up, the points will be tallied, and the top 3 teams from each group will move up into the final bracket, and that'll be the knockout bracket for all the marbles. Another shout out I want to do, there's 2 days remaining for MRBC Season 7 signups. They have already broken the season record for the most teams signed up. Let's see how many we're at right now. It's going to be a damn good season.
Biggest tournament in MechWarrior Online.
Absolutely. So we are up to 64 teams and counting signed up right now. So we expect to see some more. That has broken the record. That's awesome. And so if you guys are watching right now and you have a team and you want to play, MRBC is one of the best leagues to join as a new team because they are a divisional league. They try to pair people as best as possible with teams that are of like skill, and you basically earn your way up the ladder. There will be prizes this season. I do not have specifics as to what exactly they are, but I believe they will be pretty good MC packs for the winning teams of each division. We'll see. I don't want to confirm or deny any of that, but it should be good, and it should be very fun, especially with that many teams playing. I know I can't, and MD probably can't wait to shoutcast some of those 8v8 matches for MRBC.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good season, and just the teams that we've been seeing, some of the old teams coming back, it's going to be great. So I absolutely cannot wait to see.
Not only that, but it's fun to watch some of the newer comp teams kind of learn and grow as they experience. Especially a lot of them, we see teams doing comp play for the first time. MRBC, like Bandit said, is a great way to start off in comp scene, and it's kind of fun to see how people kind of interact with going in this completely new mindset from the group public queue or CW or whatever into organized competitive plays, matches that you're planning out beforehand and planning and practicing in order to do well in.
Kira wanted to see it again. So now you have to donate, Kira. You said it. My wife decided to be artistic on a box.
There you go.
And there it is. So you happy now? You happy? You happy, Kira? Now you saw it. So donate to the charity. All right. Enough of that. I'm going to burn that thing.
Looks like we've got SJR back down underweight. We lost a couple pounds, and we are dropping now. Absolutely.
So let's go in and see the final drop of the night. Frozen City Night. 825 tons max. And there's Core Night. Hell yeah, man.
This has been like a lot of people either participating in the drop or, on those teams winning tonight.
We have a hell of a showing tonight, though. I am super stoked with how many people we have watching. Definitely give us a follow if you enjoy shoutcasting, any competitive play whatsoever. We enjoy doing this for you guys. I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't having fun. Toss us a follow, and we'll be taking this straight into Season 7 of MRBC and any other things that might happen. We like doing this. So I'm over here on the 228 side looking at the Maulers with the 5 AC5s again. That is a staple that we've seen. We do have an Ultra AC5 and a Gauss Eben Jag. What do you got over on the SJR
We've
side?
got one Mauler with 5 AC5s and 2 Atlas S's, the AC20 SRM builds for SJR. Mostly a lot of SRM brawlers, especially on the clan mechs.
I am seeing some flamers.
We have 2 Maulers, 2 Atlases. This ought to be good. These are some big mechs coming in here.
On the 228 side, I'm not seeing very many flamers, but they are present. So it's kind of nice to see that it's not a massive stack of them. But we'll see whether or not those help at all. And going into this,
I don't see any flamers for SJR. I think they're figuring.
We're seeing a hard brawl push here. 228 is not wasting any time getting involved, tossing some shots down. SJR is kind of backed up into the city. I'm sure they're not too worried about that, though, with those Atlases. I'd rather, they bring themselves into the Atlases than having to march all the way across the field.
Yeah.
We are seeing
Why
a
let 'em
little bit
march
of
across?
a
But
Griffin
it looks
getting
like here
caught
goes
off.
SJR pushing into the dropship. And 228's got some mechs coming around their flank right now, getting some free shots in at those Atlases as they're trying to push into the main body here.
Well, the main body keeps shifting, so SJR is swung in and cut them in half with those Atlases, but the first one does go down. And two mechs for 228 does go down.
Yep.
So they cut them in half at this point. It's going to be very difficult to... There we go. So Magician in the Atlas getting legged right now, but a lot of split damage, not a lot of focus on that Atlas.
Just went down. 6 mechs now down for 228, 1 down for SJR. This is not going well.
Yeah, this is definitely going pretty well in favor
Now
of SJR.
7 down for 228, 3 down for SJR.
That was a good hard brawl. I think those Atlases still did a lot of work on that one, but the people were dying incredibly quickly there. Oh boy.
Now 3 left for 228. There's 5 left, 6 left for SJR. So a little closer than maybe it looked at the beginning there, but still looks like it's in favor of SJR at this point.
Nobody bothered with any of the caps on that one. That's for damn sure.
Nope. Last bit 5-2 SJR with the lead right now, and it looks like another win, a 4-1 victory for SJR in this round of the MS Invitational. Just cleaning up the last guys here.
So, I am seeing some flamers in use by SJR here. Like this Stormcrow is definitely stun locking this Black Knight. Like,
yeah.
I'd be interested to see, I'd be interested to hear the opinion of those teams to see, do they feel like the addition of those flamers lent anything to their decks? Are we going to be seeing them in a lot of them? But at the same token, we're not seeing every single mech bringing them. It's in a brawl especially, bringing them seems to be making some sort of difference. But they're not heavily stacked, and so going forward, I want to see how does that morph, how does that change, what happens.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see people considering taking like one flamer just for that, raise the target's heat just a little bit more, get that little edge. That might be something that people consider as worth the tonnage in a close-in brawl. A small pulse sort of brawler where you're already in that range anyway. Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised to see that, but I don't think we're going to see flamer boats like we would have before the hotfix tonight.
Yeah. The same token, though, I don't think the hotfix really scared anybody away from using them.
Yeah.
They seem to be doing
taking a look at the damage here real quick, we've got 3 500 damage mechs, a Black Knight, Arctic Cheetah or Firestar, one of the lights, and a Nova for SJR. The Atlases actually did 300 and 100 and some damage, so I think they probably took more damage than they did, but sometimes that's the role of an Atlas.
Absolutely. Once again, go donate. Go donate. Go donate. Go donate. You might be able to win a frickin' Kodiak. A Kodiak! 9333, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the crew.
So there we go. 4-1 tonight in favor of SJR. How do you feel about that? Do you think that was a statement by SJR? I think 228 kept it closer than you might think in a lot of those matches, but after that rather rough season that SJR had in MRBC, finishing in 3rd place last season, it seems like, I don't know whether that was a wake-up call or maybe the upcoming MechWarrior hosted tournament kind of brought some players kind of back out of retirement, but they seem to have turned things around and climbing back up in the world, although they really didn't drop that far, but back to where we're used to seeing SJR play. 228 is no pushover, so to do a 4-1, even if it was maybe a little closer than you might think there, I think is very impressive.
Absolutely, and I am seeing a lot of new names on the SJR side, or the 228 side as well.
Yeah.
So maybe it just is going to be a matter of time before they get everybody up to speed and comfortable with each other and stuff like that. But Either way, still well played by both. I mean, it's not going to
Yep.
take much to push back and forth on wins and losses here, and a lot of it might be just because we do have a lot of meta changes right in the middle of a tournament season, so that can mess anybody up really if you're not fully prepared for it. And maybe a lot of this has to do with very smart choices being made in the deck. So 228 on the replay here charges up Taylor dropship. One of their griffins gets caught out and gets harassed by 2 light mechs. The Mauler kind of moves over to help him, but really gets caught out. So those guys at the tail of dropship are really fucked at this point.
Yep.
SJR wastes no time just slicing right between them. The Atlas is leading the charge. The first Atlas does go down, but in that time, 228 mechs do go down, one of them being the Griffin that got cut out. And, it's just a futile attempt to try and bring down the other Atlas, but really the damage has been done at this point, and things definitely swinging heavily in favor of SJR. Very well played, a good, solid, strong movement by SJR, and pair that with good, solid, strong aim. Very well done by them. The Maulers definitely did work, but I'm thinking the tankiness of those Atlases it helped a lot.
Yeah, and in a brawl, you really can't mess around. Once you commit, you got to go, and SJR did a great job of doing that. But the other thing I want to point out is when you get to this level of competitive play, I know some of our viewers obviously are very experienced in the competitive scene. We might have some that aren't. And when you get to that level, any tiny advantage you get, as soon as the first mech goes down, it's very hard for the team that's now down a mech to pull that back. Usually we see these games, even if they are very close, seem like they're not in terms of the scoreboard. It's rarer, I think, to find a evenly matched comp game where the scores wind up being 11-12 or something like that, simply because these players are so good and there's so few mistakes that you see happening that little advantage of being up a mech is enough to swing the match in a huge way. So for any of you guys that might be newer to the competitive scene or have not seen this before, you might be thinking to yourself, man, this isn't a really close match, but a lot of times you can't tell just by looking at the final score.
Yeah, and so Ed in his Mauler, 757 damage definitely did work. He was one of the last mechs alive, though, or at least, towards the end there.
Yeah.
He did a lot of work. It's just, it's a lot of armor to chew through and a lot of structure to chew through. It's very tough, and, that was a very good brawl by SJR. I mean, it's really tough to call what could have gone differently on a brawl, because there's just so much going on at once, especially in 12v12s. Time to kill is incredibly low when you got that many mechs shooting at each other, and even one of the Atlases did get shredded down quickly, but then we look at the scoreboard, and we've got dead 228 on the field too, and that's rough. That's rough. So, oh man, Skexy42, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the crew. Once again, for anybody that's tuned in a little bit ago or anything like that, there is a bug since last patch. If you're wondering why I kept switching into cockpit view, essentially anytime somebody dies and then they start switching spectator views or switching between cockpits, it takes me and MD along for the ride. So it's brutal, but I think that this went better than I expected. I thought this was going to just completely suck. But I think we turned this into a fun little cast here. We got to see some good fighting. It got a little anticlimactic once the switches started happening, but the setup was good, and we really kind of knew how things were going to go before even that shit started happening. So, definitely interesting. Once again, for anybody that donates to the charity, your name is being put into a list, and that's during the stream. Anybody that donates to the charity, your name is being added to a list for a Kodiak pack. So that's pretty awesome. Do it, because right now, looking at the list, you got a very good chance of winning, guys. Very good chance of winning. Go donate. Mr. Pappy, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the crew. So 4-1 in favor of SJR. 228 definitely fought hard. Things went pretty steadily in favor of SJR. That fight on Tourmaline, though, was very good for 228.
Yeah, I've really
it was good.
enjoyed watching that strategy on for 228 on Tourmaline. That was not something that I would have expected, so it was kind of neat to watch them do it and do it so well.
I'm just clearing up the scene. Cool. So, I don't have anything scheduled as of right now for future casts, but definitely keep your eyes open on Reddit. I'd like to post it up there. I also post it up on my Twitter. Feel free to give me a follow there, twitter.com/banditb17. I'm pretty sure that's what my address is. So give me a follow there. I like to post and retweet stuff there that's all relevant to MWO, essentially. But otherwise, definitely give me a follow here on my Twitch channel. And we've gotten a pretty good amount of follows, a lot of new names and stuff. So definitely excited to see you guys. Really good turnout today. Very stoked, even though things were a little bit broken. Hopefully you guys enjoyed yourselves and had fun. I'm just waiting to see what's going on here with the donations so we can do that Kodiak giveaway.
Yeah, we appreciate all you guys sticking around as well, for, despite the epilepsy that might have been occurring there. Hopefully none of you guys actually suffer from that, or suffered at least as a result of the spectator bug. Otherwise, direct your complaints to Russ's Twitter feed like everyone else.
Yeah. I did record a video when we first discovered this bug. I recorded a video and we sent it over to the authorities, and it involved me crying because I thought this was gonna suck. But no, it was all right. It was all right. All right, so I'm getting the names now for everybody who donated.
Are we gonna draw live on stream? Are we gonna find out?
I'd like to.
Oh man!
But at the same time,
Here
we've been talking about it so damn much that maybe some other people are donating. I want to almost give it a couple extra minutes here to see if anybody else pops some donations in there. We're doing it like
Should I type it in chat?
Yeah, let's give it like a 2-minute warning on the drawing. We'll have people stick around. You know what? Well, a lot of you guys are here. Obviously, the Shoutcast is essentially wrapped up at this point. So while we wait a couple more minutes, why not watch me go in and get killed? Why not?
Ooh,
What's the worst that could happen?
That's what we all want to see.
I'm just gonna bleed viewers, and the only people watching are gonna be like the 4, 5, 6 people who donated or whatever, however many they're at right now. At least
okay.
I'm not going to swap cockpits while playing. I'm going to do so terribly. I've got so many people watching me right now.
Well, once you die, you should just go to the spectator mode and just click as fast as you can.
Just in case Russ is watching the match.
Yeah. Just in case we've been addicted to it. Now we've got to get our fix.
Swaccelerated. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the crew, good sir. Alright. I am so sad I lost because of the patch. They took away my 12x multipliers on both, so I am climbing yet again.
In the new minigame. I are sad. Frost Pendragon. Strangely, this is the first Bandit MDM cast I've watched that didn't require me hitting F5 constantly. Well, that is a good thing, I guess. Yeah,
I'm very happy about that.
Happy to serve, maybe.
And since I'm able to be a little bit more selfish now that the main event essentially is over, I have started also split streaming to a new service that's similar to Twitch called Beam.pro. Obviously, for the Shoutcast, it doesn't matter all that much because the big draw to Beam.pro over Twitch.tv is the 3-ish seconds delays. Right now, partners get 1 second delay, and it looks to me like they're trying to get to 0.25 second delay for pretty much everybody. That's pretty crazy, and that's awesome for when you like to talk to your chat and stuff like that while playing a game. And it's been super fun so far for everybody that's come over to Beam to watch me play, because we're able to hold some really cool conversations and stuff like that. I know Kira's come over, and it's been fun. So,
and that way you can be a hipster streamer where you
They
could say
just
I was
started
on,
in January.
on
Yeah.
Beam
Yep.
before it was cool.
Before it was cool.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
before it was big.
They do have a lot of cool stuff in there for non-MWO related things, like Minecraft is heavily represented there because they have plugins that allow viewers to take control and make things happen, essentially. So maybe someday, I mean, you can even set up the API to like fly drones around your room if you want to. You can let people take control of something in your environment. That might be fun to play around with. But really, the main draw I've had with it has been the shorter delays and stuff like that. Oh man, you're sending me messages when I'm playing a game, MD? Jeez.
Yep. Get on it.
Oh, now I'm walking into frickin' everything. Terrible. So I'm just trying
That's
to
what I'm
wait
here
to
for.
see where these people decide to set up.
New target acquired.
Don't expect much out of me, everybody. I'm just really wasting time until you guys have a chance. I'm holding you hostage. You got to go donate to the charity so we can give away this Kodiak,
Target acquired.
basically. So go donate.
New target acquired.
Obviously, if you... Oh my god! Alright! That's one for the highlight reel. Dear mother of God, what the hell hit me? AC5, I bet you it was a goddamn Mauler. Holy shit. Alright.
And that was beautiful.
Well, that was short enough to be... Oh my god, I had to overlay up the whole... Oh my god, radio calling. I just did a radio of my own gameplay. So, thankfully, none of you saw that. Essentially, I was in a fire starter and took 5 AC5s to the rear torso with basically none of my mech was touched. None of my mech was touched. Instant death. I wasn't even that exposed.
And we missed out on it.
It was a good shot, and I missed out. Get ready for the radio call of me dying horribly in a fire starter. I didn't switch the
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed that I can't even watch it now. It's terrible.
I don't want anybody to see that.
Yeah, I think we need to see that.
Alright, let's get this stinking drawing over with. Alright, I'm getting the final list of names. I'm going to go ahead and plug that into the tool. We'll do replace. So add manually. Okay, when he gets me that list of names, we're going to do the drawing live on stream here. And definitely mad props to Sace for donating that Kodiak pack. Good on you for doing what is right for the charity. Let's refresh the page, see if we got good votes. So we're up to about $414 or so out of the $1,000 goal, and it's only in week 2, so hopefully you guys can keep that momentum going. I'm glad nobody had to see that. Come on. Give me the list, broski. I suppose I can see what you're saying in my chat now.
Oh,
You dick.
you're looking at what I'm saying in chat now?
Yeah,
Never mind,
yeah.
let me delete all this.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you guys all suck. The list is short.
Oh,
You guys
man.
had a lot of opportunities, but to those who did donate,
Thank you.
thank you.
Your odds are good.
Just got the list here. And punching it into my thing. Radiocast, best cast. Sorry for the delay here. I want to make sure
That's
that I have
awful.
exactly the right names in the drawing tool before I hit that button because I don't want to disappoint anybody. Okay. Replace.
Here we go.
Here we go. For all the marbles.
Oh, the anticipation's killing me.
Kira is a fucking hipster. And LP Magic, you are the winner. Thank you for your donation. Just for the sake of transparency, these are the 3 names of the people who donated.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you
your
to
donation.
you guys for your donation. Absolutely. So I'll show this part anyways. Oh no, he's got to see something in chat. No, you don't. And you win. The winner is you!
I'm gonna type in chat here, 5 minutes to give away. That's your message from the future.
From the future.
Sorry for all you
So,
people living in the past.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure we bled off a lot of viewers, but for anybody who's still around, thank you very much for coming. You guys are awesome. Come
Yeah,
again.
thanks for watching, guys.
Hopefully they fix that spectator tool issue so things can be cleaned up, but at least we got to watch some good combat. Once again, 4-1 in favor of SJR over 228. Definitely interested to see how the rest of the season goes and how MRBC goes. Definitely go sign up for MRBC. You got 2 days left to sign up your team. Get in there. We will see you guys later. See you in the battlefield. Signing out.
Thanks, guys.
Attention to the paper doll. Make sure you guys are shooting the correct legs. Be careful of the collisions. I don't want to hear complaints about it. Work around it. Let's play this game.
I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And when anybody's running short, is going to stay towards the top of the call there if we're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griff. Griffin.
Sounds good.
Well, that's the thing. We got to get to brawling range, so I may be moving us, right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill out, man, it's fine, it's just a 5-star.
Komm, Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds. Yeah, exactly. Don't die.
Guys,
15 seconds. Don't die.
guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow. Okay, go. Control you, see if we can get it.
There. To your left, there's a. So, jetzt guys, hinter die Indie-Pockets,
Mediums be prepared to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side, come on! Like now, I need strikes on OP barrels. Why are our strikes up?
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over. Overheating is bad. Both legs on the Griffin. Get the Griffin.
Sorry about that. That was such a
That's right. I'm gonna spawn Lance, you guys in Charlie. Lance, you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Leute in die Breite, zieht euch in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Ja, kurz Ausschaltung Delta 4, 3 Stück, 2 Mediums, ein Light, wie ich es richtig gesehen habe.
Make a firing line.
C4 Tactical Hill, boys.
Fox.
Laufen unter ECM, haben 2 durchlaufen, 10 Bravo 4.
And get ready to hit people coming from our right.
Charlie on the left, Charlie and Hellbringer on the left.
Okay, let's group up towards the left. We're gonna press through Bravo 3 to Bravo 4. I think they're kind of spread out. Check yourselves, make sure you've got, UAV cool shot. Here they come, they're pushing hard, guys.
Deco. Tez on.
Go. Oh, got a contact here, Bravo 3.
Nice, Marshall. I'm on Delta Griffin.
We'll get cross it then, get in their face. They got a highlighter, they just push up on Theta. We need help on Theta. Up on Theta. Yep, that's the noise. Go, go, go. Let's finish this.
Full pressure, guys, full pressure. They're down low. They're down low in Charlie 3.
Get the fucking arm, Jackson!
Jackson, cool shot.
Golf. I got him.
Okay, go,
P3, go. Echo, go. Get over on your medium, guys. Get Echo Stormcrow. God, I suck as a pilot, but thank I packed my skill.
I'm sorry that you died, sweet girls, but we will send a reasonably nice letter to your family.